So the NHL season started last week, and you see a lot of changes. You're seeing a lot of changes, and a lot of it wasn't talked about here, and a lot of people haven't talked about it except for NHL channels. But NHL is probably the sport that's going to be affected most by COVID, and I say that because if you've ever been to an NHL or hockey game, it's unlike anything else. The NHL really hangs their hat on having the best live experience. It's just different. It's different from any football game, basketball game. We all know I'm a basketball head. However, it's just different going to a live hockey game. And hockey gets most of their revenue from live games, which it is the fans. Because if you even look, most, if not all of, let's just talk about the Caps, because all I know is the Capitals. Pretty much, if there was 82 games, 81 would be sold out. Like that's how much people love going to, and I would assume that it's like that for most other cities. And COVID is really hitting the NHL hard. They had a successful end of the season last year with the bubble, but they're not doing a bubble this year. And there's a lot of things that needed to change because you're not, they've already said that they're not having any fans. So that's majority of their money that they're not making. So how they're adapting is they're going from 82 games to 56. You're having logos on the helmets and on the ice and the rinks. Again, they need to find a way they're trying to find a way how to capitalize on this season and moving forward, because they're I think the projection is they're going to lose up to $1 billion just this season, seeing as though they're not having fans in any arena, and that's where most of their money coming from. And they had to do division realignment instead of having like the NHL. Well, let me say this: they have some, because they need to make money, and because they're having a shortened season. They did not only did they change the names for the divisions, but they had to do some division realignment. So now you have the Mass Mutual East, which was, I think, the Metropolitan or NHL Metropolitan or whatever. You have Washington, Philly, New Jersey, Boston, the Rangers, the Islanders, Pittsburgh, and Buffalo. That's for the Mass Mutual East. You have the Division Central, Tampa Bay, Nashville, Florida, Carolina, Detroit, Columbus, Dallas, and Chicago. That's for Discover Central. You have the Honda West, which is Vegas, Minnesota, Arizona, Colorado, St. Louis, San Jose, the Los Angeles, and whatever. That's the Honda West. You have the Scotia North, which is pretty much all the Canada teams. You have Toronto, Montreal, Calgary. You have Winnipeg, Ottawa, Edmonton, and Vancouver. So I think it's very interesting to see how the NHL was going to fare this season. Of course, I think they're going to have a successful season, but this is going to do a lot more moving forward, because you're going to lose money regardless, and they're going to have to make it up some way. So just, watch, because right now I think the only place I can see hockey is NBC, NBC Sports mostly, but they're pretty much going against news and stuff like that. So look to see if they try to spark a deal with ESPN. Of course, I think once the fans will start being able to come in, I think the tickets will probably the ticket sales are going to be, or the ticket prices, I should say, are going to be higher than usual, seeing as though they have to try to recoup the money that they're losing. And I know players' salaries are probably going to get cut. I know the NHL and hockey players don't make a lot of money, but I understand. Like I said, they're going to be playing catch up at this point, and I think that their players probably understand that, at least not this year, but in the coming years, salaries are going to change drastically, seeing as how they can adapt to the 1 billion they've lost this season. So, like I said, the NHL, it's exciting. I'm excited to see how they adapt to, one, not having a bubble, and two, seeing, with all the hell, most of their in fact, all of their divisions are sponsored and titled after banks. So they're looking to see how can we make as much money as possible, seeing as though we're losing a lot of money.